Our gentlemen up front are on 9-minute pace. 4 laps done in 4:43, just a tad slower than our first section. And now to the front goes Valderrama. With Flynn Pumpa of Iowa Western there in second. The Northwest Missouri teammates together with 3 to go. They're in contact. Salen's of Montana State runs in 7th at the moment. He's with a group of 3, but you see our leaders are on the verge of really breaking away here. Gamblet and Tapp have a shot. There's still plenty of running to go, but these two moving quite well, 5:54 through 5 laps. Oliver Pick looking to make contact. Pick with Division III qualifying on his mind. With just 4 under 9 minutes, it makes sense that Pick is on the move. He's running in 4th, breaking up the 2 from Northwest Missouri. But Pau Valderrama, he's looking to close this thing over the last 1,000. Valderrama, impressive. .706 through 6 laps, so inside of a lap and a half to go. 25-30 meter lead. And our chasers, including Wyatt Hover of Stephen F. Austin, trying to get there. But our leader, flying solo, Pau Valderrama of Western, Missouri Western. He hits the bell at 7:45. 9:08 lifetime or seasonal best. He ran 2 weeks ago, sits at 13th on the D2 list. And at 7:45 with 1 to go, he's got a great shot at climbing the D2 list and notch a big lifetime best. And this lead is growing. I mean, he's pushing 50 meters now. The field is falling apart, and he was at 8:17 through 7 laps. It is all Valderrama up front. And a fall on the water, and Valderrama recovers. While these seconds are precious, he seems to have rebounded quite well. He's got to get himself over this last barrier, and he does. And Valderrama still got a shot at breaking 9. Again, 9:08 lifetime best coming in, and he puts it together. Valderrama into the top 10 in Division II on the season. 8:57.70. Pumpa at 9:04.25. Saling's at 9:05.95. So give credit to Valderrama recovering and still dipping under 9. So Pick runs 9:07 for Pomona Pitzer. That's a top 10 mark in Division III. But again, these lists are going to be rewritten this weekend. So impressive recovery for our winner, Valderrama. Results are on the board. You mentioned Coates from Davis, very near or just right at a lifetime best in 5th. We now go to section number 3. Just the volume of quality athletes this week will be nonstop all the way through Friday night, as we continue to get faster here. Ian Effort of Western Oregon out front early. A junior from Western Oregon, a powerful program. He's run 9:01, so it's pretty clear what's on his mind. It's gonna take more than a sub-9 to get to D2 Nationals, and a guy like Eifert knows that, where it could be an 8:55, 8:54 number might be what it takes. So, and this is such a prime opportunity for these athletes. Well, you don't want to apply that kind of pressure in April. It's hard not to, giving the race conditions. So 72 on 71 on the opening circuit, a tad slow. And our pace lights for section number 3 are set at 9 minutes. That's Hudson Bennett of Texas, with Parker Simmons of UC Santa Barbara running in 2nd and 3rd. Sean Janecko of Gonzaga there in white moves into the top 5. So they're ahead of those 9-minute pace lights. You see 70 on the last circuit for our leaders through the through the finish line. And it's Eifert. So this group right together as they head into the water. Eifert continuing to lead, with Bennett there running in 2nd, Janecko on the outside, Simmons in 3rd. Anto, South Dakota State in 4th. Jonathan Simmons, Utah State, also in our top 5. Eifert ran 9:01 in San Francisco 2 weeks ago. Third place in his conference in 2024. So the steepler has improved it significantly in the last year and looking to take another step. There's Simmons from Utah State, now swinging wide. You see this pace maybe slowing just a bit, causing some bunching with 4 to go. But nobody else has interest in going to the front. Evans of Arkansas State now there in red runs in 5th. This group of 9 guys right together. Maximilian Wheeler of Oklahoma Baptist now taking a turn at the front. Eifert settles back into the group. Simmons of Santa Barbara responds to this surge by Wheeler. So the group stays together. Eifert looking to tuck in, recover momentarily. Antow of South Dakota State in the white. Definitely somebody to consider here. Just seems to be kind of looming, saving his energy there. Ellis McKean of University of San Francisco also looking to get into position. So 71 by our leaders. So this pace not really aggressive, and the result is 6 still together at this point. And McKean of San Francisco on the outside. Antew's run 9:02 coming in. Simmons at the front. Just under 6 minutes through 5 laps. And these guys are right near those 9-minute wave lights, so just under that pace, which is lifetime best range for several of these gentlemen. Now McKean, the senior from University of San Francisco, pops to the front. Again, 9:03. So those pace lights getting away just a little bit. And that might be the motivator here for McKean. So 9:03 at Sacramento last month for McKean when he won Sac State's Invitational. McKean wants that sub-9. And he's got to start moving now and get those lights underneath his feet. And you see they're right there. So he's on 9:01, 9:02 pace right now. And it seems like the place to be would be right off of the lights so you could kick them down. So letting them kind of carry you through, and McKean looking to have that contact with the lights. And he is right on them. So McKean heading into the bell. Simmons and Stevens right there with him, 7:46. So time for a big close here for Ellis McKean of University of San Francisco in this third section. 70.6 on that last circuit. And he's got those lights right there at his heels. And it's McKean, Simmons, Antew, Wasserman of Nebraska looking to make contact, or that's Stevens of Arkansas State. Battling back is Bennett of Texas. But look at this lead on Ellis McKean. And this is all McKean as he rolls right on through. It's Ellis McKean clean over the last barrier. Sub-9 in his sights. And he blows those lights away over the last lap in a massive lifetime best. One that he'll be very pleased with. This section sees 3 under as McKean goes 8:53.53. Antow an 8:58. Simmons also at 8:58.13, one of the top times in the Big West on the season. There's our results on the board with 3 under. We'll now go to heat number 4. Paul Talons of Gonzaga among our leaders. That's Gavin Jenkins of Lewis. Owen Westerkamp of Grand Valley. And our start list there, you can see our competitors, a couple of Division II standouts. Brody Chapman of Tennessee, obviously out of the SEC there on the outside. And Talons, as we mentioned, from Gonzaga runs on the inside. It's Gavin Lewis on the inside. Jaden Zywicki, Wisconsin Lacrosse in our lead group. We're at 71 through the first lap. Westerkamp there in black for Grand Valley. Wandu Suma of Tulane finding a position there on the outside. And Jenkins holds the rail with 6 to go. Owen Rogers of Weber also in our lead group. And Suma looking like he wants to get around, but still holding that spot in 6th. Still Jenkins and Westerkamp. Andrew Murray from Rice runs in 4th. David Millen of Adams inching his way towards the front as well, runs in mid-pack. It's Jenkins, Zywicki, and Murray. 5 to go, just inside of 3 minutes. So 70 flat on that last circuit. Definitely an acceleration by Jenkins. And that put this field in single file. Jenkins, Zywicki, Talons there on the outside, with Murray from Rice on the inside. 3:34 through 3 laps. It's Gavin Jenkins. Jenkins running comfortably as we come up on 4 to go. Westerkamp gets back into position in 3rd. The field comfortable with Jenkins up front. 8:56 are those wave lights, and they're right with our leaders. And now to the front is Owen Rogers. And Owen Rogers of Weber, 5:20 with 3 to go, 69.5, and you see the result. Zywicki a second back. Rogers may have timed this just right as he starts to move here. Chapman battling back for Tennessee, but there is separation up front. Zywicki runs in second with Westerkamp. Talons of Gonzaga and Murray, our top 5 definitely getting away. This is all Owen Rogers, clean over barriers, running with aggression, but efficiency. He's gonna be right on 6:30 with 2 to go, make it 6:29. And a 68.9, his fastest circuit, and the fastest circuit we may have seen in these first 4 sections. And this is all Owen Rogers. He is well beyond those 8:56 pace lights as Owen Rogers of Weber and Owen Rogers, the freshman from Weber, .913 lifetime best, or call it a seasonal best for the freshman, and he's about to blow that out of the water here. And Rogers at 7:37 at the bell. Westerkamp of Grand Valley leads that chase in second. But this is all Owen Rogers. And you see from Gonzaga, Talons, who's been part of our lead group. Now he moves into second with Westerkamp running in third, but Owen Rogers just on fire. And he made a move over the last 1,000. This is Owen Rogers of Weber, the freshman. We are at 8:40 right now. Westerkamp charging hard, but this is all Rogers. And very close with 4 others under 8:50. Rogers at 8:46.49. Westerkamp 8:49.42. And Westerkamp, the freshman from Grand Valley, moves into the top 5 in Division II on the season with the better part of 9 under 9 minutes in Section 4. So that was just an impressive section. A fine running by Rogers, and he just blew this field away. On the track now is section number 5. 5 of 7 on the track here in the men's steeple. And we're going to get to the point here where descending order lists will mean nothing as these athletes are shredding through it. So our pace lights, there'll be 2 sets for this race. We'll have pace lights at 8:45 and another set of lights scheduled at 8:52. 8:45 and 8:52 is what was scheduled. And we'll keep an eye on this pace. We do have a pacer for this section. And we'll line them up as we go here. Michael Mayorano of Salt Lake Community College on the inside with the headband, and Jackson Henstrom, his teammate from Salt Lake, running in second and third behind our pacer. Pace definitely faster than previous sections. And Isaac Wood, the coach at Salt Lake, has built a program in a very short period of time with two of our top four from that fine community college team. Garrett Woodhouse of Utah State running in second. His teammate Bryce Hill right there. We're at 143 with 6 to go. So 2 from Utah State, 2 from Salt Lake Community College, and Hendrik Lindstrot of North Dakota into our top 6. Just had a slight stumble by Mayorano, and he is back on his feet. You see him there on the outside. So good to see him recovered as we are at 2:14 through 2 laps. So quick early pace, the fastest we've seen. It makes sense as we're going from slow to fast here in these 7 sections on the men's side, but definitely much quicker here. 8:45 pace scheduled for our Rabbit. Henstrom of Salt Lake up front. Lindstrot, North Dakota, and Mayorano of Salt Lake, who tripped just a bit. He is back in this main group. Now those pace lights are on, and we are assuming those are the 8:45 pace lights. Henstrom continues to follow our Rabbit. 3:25 through 3 laps. Woodhouse of Utah State running in third. Josh Becker of South Dakota State moves into third. He's right there with Woodhouse. 4:01 with 4 to go. Now 4 have definitely separated here. Bryce Hill leads our chasers. Now Becker moves into second, right on the shoulder of Henstrom. And our pacer from Utah State has been supporting this race with 2 of his teammates out there. Steps off 4:34 at the end of 4 laps. And really 4 are away at this point. Henstrom and Becker up front. Henstrom, Becker, Woodhouse, Lindstrot. tight group of 5 together. We saw it string out just a little bit, but then gather back together. Lindström there on the inside, Woodhouse on the outside. .624 with 2 to go up front. So Woodhouse with Pete Johnson of Central Arkansas, part of that group of 5. Lindström and Woodhouse, Johnson with Becker, and Henstrom running in 5th. Six laps down for this group of 5. Felix Rivet of Indianapolis University looking to get in contact. 7:36 at the bell. Rivet of Indianapolis getting himself into contact, now into 5th. He is putting a good one together here. But Garrett Woodhouse up front holding that lead, and he's got company. It's Woodhouse and Sandstrom up front, those two right together. Schuld of Irvine right there with hip 4, closing well in 5th. And it's Jackson Henstrom of Salt Lake Community College. We're at 8:35 right now. He's gonna dip under 8:50. And Rivet of Indianapolis looking to get up to 2nd, 8:45 unofficially, in a big close for Henstrom. 8:45.26, Woodhouse in 8:46, and Rivet 8:47. Johnson of Central Arkansas 8:49, that's 4 under 8:50. Woodhouse at 8:50, or Schuld at 8:51 from UC Irvine in 5th. So a big close by Jackson Henstrom. Big lifetime best in 8:45.26 to take section number 5. Two sections remain here on the men's side in the open steeple. This is section number 6.
Section 6 and 7 here in the men's steeplechase.
And we'll continue to get faster here. Titus Camaro, Logan Petit of Texas and Texas Tech, and that's Petit up front with Johanna Ual of Iowa. Milo Skapinski of Stanford there on the outside. And Kimaru of Texas Tech now goes to the front. And Patetti runs in second behind Kimaru. The freshman from Texas Tech has run 8:49 this season when he took second at the Texas Relays.
Tomorrow's run 8:49.80 as the Texas Relays runner-up. for Texas Tech. He's the leader in the early going. Logan Petit running in second for Texas. All-time best of 8:52.
And Kamaru out front. Emmett Garris of Minnesota into fourth. Behind you all, Patetti and Kamaru. Wingfield of Colorado into the top 5. Pace lights at 8:48 for this section. 6 to go. 146. So they are just ahead of those 8:48 pace lights. Kamaru separating here early. .255 with 5 to go. So 2.5 laps done in 2:55. And Petit of Texas settles back into that group. But this lead by Titus Kamaru of Texas Tech growing ever so slightly. Garris of Minnesota, Wingfield, Colorado, and Wingfield into second, 3:27 through 3. Brady Yinks of Lipscomb into fifth, call it fourth. Garris and Wingfield look like they may have some run in them as we hit 4 to go, and almost seem to be considering a move to Kamaru. But they're right on those pace lights. So it'd be a calculated risk where they've got the pacing, but it's a matter of balancing that with the race. Wingfield's run 8:53. Kamaru at 4:38 through 4 laps. So Wingfield was 6th in the Pac-12 last year. And he is among 5 giving chase at the moment. And at the same time, Kamaru does not appear to be coming back anytime soon, as he extends with 3 to go. So our leader is well ahead of the pace lights. Our chase group of 5 just off of them, as we are inside of 3. And Emmett Garris now takes a turn as the lead chaser. He's been right there in the top 4 throughout this race. And 2 to go. Yinks of Lipscomb now moves into second. This is all Kamaru out front. Yinks has run 8:52, and those pace lights are just getting away from our chasers a little bit, but not Kamaru. Lap and a half to go up front. 8:49 for Kamaru on the season. We are coming into 1 to go. And Yinks making a move here. And we are at 7:30 at the bell. Yinks at 7:37. And he is right on those lights. But Kamaru from the gun, in control and moving away. But Brady Yinks of Lipscomb not quite in position to catch Kamaru, but definitely accelerating on top of those pace lights. And this is Kamaru into the final turn. Coming into the weekend, just 3 or 2 had been under 8:30. He won't quite get there. But Titus Kamaru at 8:30 right now. And he'll be just under that 8:40 barrier. 8:38.91 for Titus Kamaru on the win. Yinks celebrates in 8:44.86. Bell with the close from Purdue in 8:49, and a big Division II run for Sayuda in 8:50.09. That's a top 5 mark in Division II this season. As we close out section number 6, we'll now get ready for our final section in this open division. And there is our field lined up and ready to go. Results from section 6 are now on the board with 9 under 9 minutes. Kamaru with the fastest time of the day as we get ready for our last section. Field will scroll through on the board. And here we go, final open section in the men's steeple. Adam Lowenser of Wisconsin Lacrosse up front. Division III All-American for Wisconsin Lacrosse last season. Multiple-time national finalist, and his lifetime best goes back to this event a year ago, 8:44.88. Pace lights for this section set to be right at 8:44. So custom designed pace lights as we're at 68 through the first lap and ahead of those lights at the moment. Our field out well. Caleb Williams of Purdue running in second. Talum Young of Cal State Fullerton running in third with Albert Steiner of Wyoming.
Talum Young up in the mix as well. Really orange headband from Big West Conference champ.
And our field right together. Lowenser, Talman Young, Luke Knepp of Iowa now moving up there on the outside. 2:19 through 2 laps.
Got 6 laps to go as they cross the common start finish line. Again, Lowenser from Wisconsin across continues to lead. And then Caleb Williams of Purdue.
So Lowenser up front with 10 right there in position. Jason Rentz of Air Force swinging wide there, hip number 3, and he moves into second. 5 to go for this field, just inside of 3 minutes as they cross that finish line. Lowenser third at Division III Nationals in the steeple in 2024. Also an All-American indoors this winter at 3,000 meters and in the distance medley. That's Young of Cal State Fullerton. Several men right in contact. Young coming off of an 8:46 fine performance at Stanford. The Big West champion for Cal State Fullerton now settles into 5th. 4 to go. Lowenser now starting to separate. Again, pace slides at 8:44. Mathis Boris of West Texas State now to the front. We've lost Lowenser off the front. Lowenser battling back, but this field getting away now. 3 to go. And it's Boris out front for West Texas State. He comes into this weekend ranked 4th in Division II. Rents there contending. 8:49 at the Texas Relays. He's looking to take that mark down as he's up out in front of those 8:44 pace lights. Mathis Boers through 5 laps. The junior from West Texas A&M. and he is full of run. We hit 2 to go in 6:22. Now 3 are up in front of those pace lights. Rentz right there, running in second. He's actually in contact. Mathis Boers, Jason Rentz, and Luke Knepp of Iowa. Caleb Williams of Purdue. He's a distant 4th. We're down to 3. Boers is gonna have to hold this together because he's got 2 that look pretty solid right behind him. We're coming into the bell for Mathis Boers of West Texas A&M. We are at 7:32 at the bell. It's Boers, Rentz, and Knepp. And you see Jason Rentz. Jason Rentz right there. And he's done a fair amount of work to get into that position. And Knepp moves into second, and Knepp blasts away. This is Luke Knepp of Iowa. And it's Luke Knepp. And a big close by Luke Knepp from Iowa. Here comes Luke Knepp, and he put together an unbelievable last lap to take this section. Knepp goes 8:39.54, the freshman from Iowa, in his steeple debut as a collegiate. And Knepp fired up, congratulated by his teammates. So our second section with the winner under 8:40, and that wraps up action on the men's side, or we are concluding action on the men's side in the open steeple. And we're gonna go down to Nicole on the field.
Hello, I am here with the one and only Bryan Clay at the Bryan Clay Invitational. Bryan, this has become one of the main distance events. Can you just talk about the growth this event has had in the past few years?
I mean, listen, I started out competing at this event, right? And it wasn't the Bryan Clay Invitational back then, but it was always just a special meet. And so to see the athletes begin to love this meet for what it is and for what we provide, and to have it be one of the meets that I think, one of the only meets that is very athlete friendly, has been absolutely amazing. I don't know why it's turned into a distance meet, you know, but it's been really fun to watch guys come, break records, you know, qualify for NCAA championships, qualify for all the different meets that they're looking for. We've seen national records, we've seen collegiate records, we've seen all kinds of things happen here. And it's just an exciting time to be able to come back and watch this and see all these athletes compete like this.
As you said, you have competed at this event. You have been in these athletes' shoes. What is one piece of advice you would like to give to them?
You know, I think don't take it for granted. That's what I would tell athletes. I think it's really easy to see what's going on here and have fun and do all this kind of stuff, but not actually understand that this stuff is fleeting. It's only for a little while. You only get to do it for a real short time in your life. And so I wouldn't take it for granted. I'd really try to pay attention to the relationships that you're making, you know, remember the memories, like, you know, take all those things in, soak it all in, because it's going to be over before you know it, and that's all you're going to have left is the memories and the relationships and those types of things. So yeah, don't take it for granted.
All right, obviously you were a decathlon legend. What was your favorite event to compete in, and now what is your favorite event to watch?
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know what my favorite event is. It's so hard. That's why we did 10. No, I think my favorite event to compete in was probably the discus. It was just a fun event for me. I did really well at that. You know, at one point had the decathlon world record in the discus, so it was a great event. Javelin was a really fun event. I don't know why the javelin was fun, but it was, at least in the big stadiums when we were competing at the big meets, you were always able to back up and kind of be near the crowd. And so you could feel the energy of the crowd, and you could get the whole crowd to start clapping for you. And so, you know, for me, like in Beijing, for example, there's 100,000 people. They were all there. The stadium was packed because it was the evening session. The 4x1s and stuff like that was happening afterwards. So you had Bolt and everybody. So everybody was there to watch. And we were the only thing going on the track at the time. So everybody's there, but we had all of their attention. And they would start to clap, and the whole stadium was clapping. And they would all cheer when you threw it far and all that. So those were always really fun memories. And so I'd have to say that the jab was probably one of my favorite. As far as what I like to watch now, I love watching all of it. What I found is I get a kick out of watching people do things really, really well. So it doesn't matter if it's painting, it doesn't matter if it's like, you know, doing roofing. The guys that can do it really, really well, for some reason, I love that, and I love being able to watch it. So, you know, it doesn't matter if it's steeplechase, the 5K, whatever it might be. When I see guys come out and be excellent at it, there's something that I can appreciate about that, and I enjoy watching it.
And I gotta know, obviously this event is named after you. How did that come to be?
Well, after my career, so my head coaches, who were Kevin Reed and Mike Barnett, were the head coaches here at Azusa Pacific when I was going here. And then I stayed here to compete and train throughout my career. And so at the end of that, one of the things they did when they were inducting me into the Azusa Pacific Hall of Fame, Sports Hall of Fame, was they named the meet after me. And that was a really big honor, and it was just kind of fun. And I thought, oh, well, that's great. It's just going to stay this small meet. Nobody's going to care. You know, it's not going to go anywhere. So, fine, kind of fun. And then the meet just started to take off after that, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And now I think we're one of, if not I think we're one of the biggest collegiate meets in the country, which is really amazing. And we have some of the fastest times being run here. And we got a brand new track, which is really exciting. I think times, at least last week in the decathlon and heptathlon, were really good for the sprints. And so I think you're going to see some faster times this year in the sprints as long as the weather holds out. I think you're going to see some great marks in the jumps. And we're really looking to grow this meet into, you know, not just a distance meet, but just a really good meet altogether.
For sure. All right. Thank you so much for your time, Bryan. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
And it was great to hear from Bryan Clay, a silver medal, a gold medal, a world at the Olympics, and a world champion. And this meet, like he said, has taken off. Moving forward here on FloTrack, the season only gets better. I know it's hard to say that to get better from the Bryan Clay Invitational, but next week, the Penn Relays and the Diamond League is getting rolling. The Wanda Diamond League season opener will be next Saturday. So we'll have the Penn Relays at the end of the week. Unbelievable. I had the chance to go to the Penn Relays and be there. And then we move into marathon season. We got a whole bunch of action. One of the best seasons ever coming on FloTrack. We'll take a quick break and be right back here at the Bryan Clay Invitational.
Celebrating 30 meters out.
There's 5,000 meters on the track, ready to roll. Collegiate national lead.
Going to close there on her inside, but it looks like Shaki could take this front to
Grant Fisher, the American record holder.
This is superhuman.
But Holloway crossed to London. He's only 3 100s outside the world record.
Brother
brothers and sisters all. Go on and stand up so tall. The world has never seen a thing like you.
Welcome back to the Bryan Clay Invitational. You are looking at the first of 6 sections in the open women's steeplechase. And if it was anything like the men's, we've got deep and talented fields here over the next hour in this open division. We are underway. Up front early is Mary Edwards of Lewis. And what we saw on the men's side was Division 1, 2, and 3 qualifying and just the descending order list getting rewritten. And you see Mary Edwards of Lewis, the Division 2 competitor, right there at the front. And she's with Camille Renault of CSU Pueblo. So the 2 Division 2 competitors up front. Emerald Kerr of LSU running in second. And her teammate, Ari Comer of LSU. So the 2 from LSU running in third and fourth. Radana Lapakova of University of San Francisco runs in fifth. But Mary Edwards, impressive pacing early out in 78. And this is Edwards up front, running with purpose here. And she is already starting to separate as they hit the water for the first time. This is Edwards. Haven't seen a lot of separation like this in any of our sections to this point, at least this early. So not common what Edwards is doing, but impressive as she goes down the backstretch for the second time. The sophomore from Lewis really taken off on this field. .10:56 lifetime best for Lewis. She's through inside at 2:40 through 2 laps. So she is looking to take some time off of that 10:56 that she ran a year ago. Definitely in finer form than that at this point. So Edwards up front. Continuing to move as we're past the 3-minute mark here. It's early, but this is all Edwards. Renault running in second. The LSU duo of Kerr and Comer in third and fourth. Mackenzie Hack of Long Beach running in fifth. So through 1,000 meters is Mary Edwards of Lewis, and that lead just growing. And Edwards has run well, but not this well so far. 17:06 for 5,000 meters 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, make it. But she is off to a fine start here through 3 laps in 4:02. And our order remaining basically the same through the top 5. Ferdaris Hirich of Wingate into 5th at the moment, right on the heels of the LSU duo. And this is Edwards. So Division II athletes running 1, 2, and 5. The LSU duo moving well, as is Hack of Long Beach. 4 to go up front for Edwards. You see that gap. So this is all Edwards. (10:14), the Division II leader coming into this evening. With 20 under 10:50, 20 or so. She completes 4 laps in 5:26. Now a group of 5 together as Kerr of LSU moves into second. Herich of Wingate right there in third. Renault of Pueblo, part of that group. So those 5 women together. Hack with the stumble, but back on her feet. Edwards in the main straightaway. Just the cadence and rhythm over these barriers. Strong so far. Running with comfort and confidence. Now Renault, or correction, Herich into second. Kerr giving chase in third. So 85 you see for our leader, Mary Edwards. In control, that lead pushing 50 meters. (10:55) the scheduled pace lights, and she is 75 meters ahead of those pace lights. Pace lights are behind 2/3 of our field. So Edwards just opening this thing up. And the field following along. You see Hack back on her feet for Long Beach. So we are past the 7-minute mark as Mary Edwards approaches 3 to go. Just efficiency over the barriers is paying off as she comes in to 2 to go. Correction, 2 to go for Edwards at 7:38. Emerald Kerr running in second. For Dallas Herich of Wingate, the Division II Power running in third. And that's Edwards down the backstretch. Now Herich, the freshman of Wingate, inching into second. So she's just run 11:02. She's gonna obliterate that mark as well. And another clean water barrier for Mary Edwards. These women taking advantage of just perfect conditions. Emerald Kerr of LSU running in third. So big gaps here between our top 5 competitors, or gaps all the way around the track, as our field just is running away from the pace lights. So right on 9 minutes is Edwards. Again, 10:56, her lifetime best in 83 as she accelerates here. And you see Edwards in position to take 30+ seconds off of her 2024 lifetime best. And Edwards into the final turn, still well under 10 minutes is Edwards. And a clean final water barrier for Edwards. She hits 10 minutes. She comes out of the final turn. This is Mary Edwards of Lewis. And she sets the tone here for the women's steeple, running 10:20 unofficially, a top 5 time in Division II. She is blown away, drops the better part of 35 seconds off of her lifetime best. 10:20.77 on the win. Kerr in second and 10:34. Renault running in third. Renault in fourth, rather, in 10:42. Nix also in 10:42 from Western Colorado. It's hard to even look at the Division II list because it's just been blown up by this first section. And you can see Edwards, not only did she shock her teammates, but she shocked herself. So this is a great moment she's having with her Lewis team. She can't believe how fast she ran, but she made it look easy. As we wrap up our first section, and it was a special one for Mary Kerr and Mary Edwards of Lewis. Emerald Kerr running in second, Harich third, Renault running in fourth. Our second section, getting instructions on the women's side here in the open steeple. Flo College. This is your college sports now have a home on Flo College. Watch more than 12,000 college sporting events from 100 schools and 12 different conferences only on Flo College. Head to flocollege.com today to see everything now. And I can speak personally as a CCAA fan in California, Division II conference, where I'm able to see the action at an unprecedented level on Flo College. So check out the action, not only in track and field, but in multiple other sports on Flo College. We are now getting ready for section number 2. This is section number 2. And we saw just an impressive running up front in our first section. The wave lights for section 2 scheduled to go at 10:50, and we're just going to assume these women are going to run away from those pace lights as well. Although they do serve a nice purpose in the middle of the race, where athletes can kind of gauge where they're at. Often what we've seen in other meets is the pace lights kind of set an ambitious pace up front. You know, and I think of the 10 or events at BU where they're on some sort of record pace or qualifying pace. Here they kind of, in these sections, are going to be mid-race in a way. You see our whole field is in front of that 10:50 pace here early. That's Joanna Ebert of Wisconsin Parkside up front. Kaya Schmidt of UC Irvine running in second. And they are also out at an aggressive pace. So moving very well is Ebert and Schmidt. Iwuzi of Iowa Western Community College running in third, with Kenzie Seymour of UC Santa Cruz part of that top 5. Molly Humes of Rice right there as well. But it's Ebert and Schmidt up front. They take the first water right together. Ebert, Schmidt, UC, and Seymour in the top 4. Eleni Lovegren from South Dakota State, part of that front train of 8 or so, running in a single file fashion. The wave lights are about 40 meters behind our leaders. So say they're on 10:35 pace or so up front, led by Ebert. She gets to the end of 2 laps in 2:43. Ebert with a little bit of a gap now, ahead of Schmidt. EUC running in second or third. Those 3 are away just a bit. Seymour giving chase in 4th. She is with a group of 5, call it, that are giving chase. Ebert starting to get away from Schmidt at the moment. Seymour about to make contact with 3rd. Now a bit of an acceleration from EUC, Iowa Western Community College, running in 3rd. Montgomery Allison of UC Irvine looking to bridge a gap in about 9th. Joanna Ebert, though, up front. Ebert's run 10:50 on the season. The freshman is number 15 in Division II coming into this weekend. That Washington University Distance Carnival produced some fine marks 2 weeks ago. 4 to go inside of 5 minutes. And that lead opens up for Ebert. Schmidt giving chase in second for UC Irvine. Clean in and out of the water for Joanna Ebert. This trip to California is so important for so many of these competitors, Ebert being one of them. And she's looking to take full advantage. Eleni Lovegren into second. Seymour running in third. 3 to go, 6:20 at that mark, 86 on the last circuit. You can see Lovegren and Seymour gaining ground, but taking a nothing away from Ebert. That's Molly Humes of Rice among our chasers. Seymour running in second for Santa Cruz, Schmidt in third. They're in contact. 2.5 laps to go. It's doable. Just a size, that sizable lead isn't shrinking as Ebert keeps the tempo going. So we're seeing the pace lights starting to catch up to this field. After aggressive running early, 2 to go for Joanna Ebert of Wisconsin Parkside. Definitely some fatigue up front by Ebert. But her competitors may not be in a better place. Eleni Lovegren, just as I was thinking to say that she seemed to have pep, she drops back into third. Seymour has been running strong throughout, but the field in general has backed off after that aggressive early running. Six laps done. For Ebert, you see Seymour in contact. It's a matter of what Seymour can put together here over this close. Lovegren as well, as she continues to fight. Marissa Dick of Pittsburgh State running in fourth, 9:14 at the bell for Ebert. That was an 87 as Seymour gained the better part of a second on the last circuit. Again, those pace lights at 10:50. And this is Ebert through 7 laps. Strong is Ebert into the final turn. This is Joanna Ebert of Wisconsin Parkside. And this is Ebert as Lovegren moves into second. 10:50 her lifetime best, and she opens up. She's gonna dip under 10:40 and walk away with a fine lifetime best. 10:50 3 weeks ago, she goes 10:35.45. Lovegren in a fine run in 10:39.41. Dick of Pittsburgh State up for third, and all of these women well under, as they come across under that 10:50 mark. 10:52 in 9th place. So Dick ran 10:42.82. Seymour in 10:43.21. And Seymour, that'll likely move her up the Division III ranking. So coming into this weekend in Division 3, just 10, make it 9, have run under 10:50. So Seymour at 10:43 moves into the top 10. There's your results in Section 2 in the women's open steeple. Top 10 at 10:58. We still have 4 sections left. We have still have 4 sections left here on the women's side in the open steeple as we scroll through these results. Lifetime bests all over the place. Cloudy conditions, negligible wind. It's in the high 50s right now, maybe low 60s. And it seems like you see Ebert there celebrating her win. And after every one of these races, there are smiles across the infield as athletes are nailing down PRs left and right. And section number 3 taking a stride out. And we've got our start list now on this screen here in section number 3. And again, we're going from slowest to fastest here. And it's hard to call anybody slow when our first section, which is intended to be the slowest, goes in 10:20. So let's just say we're getting faster here in the women's open steeple.
Section number 3, our red lights are set here at 10:40 and 10:40, so you'll see 2 different sets of light, red and green.
Jesse Parks of Harding moves to the front early. Correction, that is Ana Cristina Navarez Ramirez, rather, up front, with Isabella Sanchez of Cal Poly San Luis Obispo running in second. Kate Nachigal of Quachita Baptist runs in third. Ana Cristina Navarez Ramirez, our early leader. Inside of 80 on the opening circuit for Navarez Ramirez. Ana Cristina Navarez Ramirez from Mexico set the national record in the steeplechase 10 years ago. A top finalist in the Pan Am Games. It's a strong history at the steeple for Navarez Ramirez. She's been a national champion in Mexico at 1,500 meters and the steeple. Haley Harkrider of Adams State, you see her there on the outside. Nachikal of Ouachita Baptist in the top three. So 9:48 lifetime best from 10 years ago. Sanchez currently sits at 4th on the Big West Conference list on the season. She ran 10:48 at Stanford. Into third is Sarah Moorfield of Tulsa. She's part of that lead group. Nachikal also has a lifetime best of 10:48 run last month. So pace lights for this third section at 10:45, which seems appropriate for these women, and they are well ahead of the lights, where our leaders are our leader is 50 plus meters up on those lights. Ramirez, Moorfield, Nachikal, Sanchez, and you see the gap there as Moorfield of Tulsa gives chase. Navarez Ramirez running impressively. A little deep on that last water as we're pushing into the second half of this race. Ana Cristina Navarez Ramirez. Sarah Moorfield of Tulsa. Harkrider of Adams in contention. Sanchez right there for Cal Poly. We are at 3 to go. 84 on that last circuit. As Navarez Ramirez increases that lead. She's pushing 40 meters on the field. Again, pace lights at 10:45. Navarez Ramirez has nearly 100 meters on them at the moment. Into the top 6 is Lily Mather of Texas Tech. She is on the heels of Cal Poly's Sanchez. Navarez Ramirez coming into 2 to go. 9:48 lifetime best. That was a national record performance 10 years ago. 7:34 with 2 to go. And this whole group inside of 7:45 with 2 to go. You see the increased tempo, 84.9, as the field was at 86 flat or slower. And the result, a lead that is pushing 50 meters for Navarez Ramirez. Moorfield, Harkrider,